made you get into doing music in the first place?
Oh, okay. Music, I guess when I was about 3 years old, I already knew what I wanted to do in my life. It was music and maybe dancing. So I request my parents that I like to have a piano and like to start piano lesson and also a ballet dancing class. But I born in a very countryside in Japan. It's called Totori. So yeah, so unfortunately, didn't have any ballet class nearby or a piano workshop nearby. But my parents worked hard to purchase a Yamaha upright piano for me when I was 4 years old. But they told me I cannot take lesson until I become 6 years old because they are both working so busy. And I said I'll take bus myself and go into the lessons. But they said no. So I have to wait till 6. And I just keep looking at my piano at the home, But anyway, that's the way I started classical piano, age 6. And then maybe I started composing the song naturally, like around age 7. Japan is a pretty much came from karaoke, singing culture, isn't it? So my father bought a nice karaoke machine, and my father has a great deep voice. And my mom has a beautiful high voice.
Did you guys sing together?
Yes, so in the house, my dad made a bar. And so that every evening I make some drink for them, and we doing some duet and songs. And that's the way I guess I started my singing from my parents and classical piano training. But my personality, I find out, is a little different. So classical music is a little bit too tight for me.
Oh, okay.
You see, so it's beautiful, but it's just my personality. Always I wanted to add some one note on top of the song, or that I wanted to go one beat behind something. But in the classical world, that wasn't good. So I just didn't know anything about jazz, but I just thought something that my image of jazz is very mature and very unique, and something that I related to my personality. That's what I thought. So I chose jazz, even I didn't know nobody. I didn't know even Billie Holiday at the time. I didn't know Miles Davis or nobody.
Yeah.
But it's just that.
Who did you start listening to be able to develop your knowledge of jazz?
Our knowledge of jazz. My first impression of jazz was in Japan. There was a TV commercial with a great Ron Carter was like a model, and for some Japanese men's fashion, because he's very handsome. And anyway, he played a deep bass and something like he said Ron Carter, and they say the jazz musician. So I said, wow, it's like the image and the sound of the bass. That was maybe my first jazz musician that I saw in my eyes in Japan on a TV. And then anyway, I liked the more like a jazz influence kind of music, but I didn't start with jazz. I started singing in Osaka, Japan, with like some song cover for the Robert Flack and Whitney Houston, kind of little jazzy pops, So those kind of songs that I started. And then I came to United States in '96. Then I just started to learn the jazz in here from scratch.
What would you say, because I know you travel back and forth between here and Japan.
Yes.
How would you compare the music scene here in New York to the music scene in Japan? Like, what are differences that you notice?
Oh, you mean in a jazz scene?
Yes,
or?
in a jazz scene.
Okay. Well, a lot of American musicians travel to Japan. They are surprised how Japan has so many jazz clubs and has the audience that respect the musicians and the jazz. And I guess a lot of jazz musicians have to travel all over the world. Maybe they can really, unfortunately, survive only if they stay in the United States. So I was so surprised to find out this reality that why the jazz is a national treasure made in the United States. Then why the America don't value to that so much? You know, it's very, very narrow. So that's why when a jazz musician came to Japan, they are so happy, and they feel like they are treated like a royal. Yeah. So that's what it is, I guess.
Have you experienced any difficulties in your musical career, and can you tell me about some of those?
It's not really easy to survive as just an artist, as a woman in United States. But I experienced this. I used to perform in Harlem. It's a 46 years history club called Paris Blues, and a co-leader. I have a partner. And anyway, that was our band, and we performed for 6 years. And we meet people from all over the world. And it doesn't matter what language they speak, what their religions, or what their background is, because that place is small and has a bar. So it's not like listen to music at the Blue Note kind of place. It's more like people and the music is so close. So we just dance together.
So you're building community there.
Community there. So I just jazz or the music is really the language that the connecting people to people, right? So we really had a great time, and owner really liked me. But then one day this tour group came from Japan. They requested me to not perform there. But they didn't tell me directly. Everything was happening behind my back.
Wow.
And then they give the pressure to the owner of the club, and then even the owner liked me, and he didn't say no. And he told my co-leader to not bring me up on the stage. So it was happened before even I sing. So it was nothing to do with my talent. That's my ethnic reason. So then anyway, this co-leader put me on. So I just sang, look like I didn't unwelcome situation, but I didn't know I sang right. But this tourist from Japan, that was a New York Marathon day, right? So they came for a run in the United States. So they are so amazed to see me doing this music in Harlem with all other kind of people. So it's like they really liked it and shake hand with me and take picture with me. Audience liked it. But the company, that a policy of the business way, because what they want to sell in jazz in Harlem, it shouldn't have Japanese in there. So that kind of discrimination is very, very hard to find it, because even the owner of the club, he didn't think he discriminated me, because that was not his opinion. It was in dialect, right? So he said, no, Okaru, it's not me. That was they told me. But why he named the place called Paris Blues is because he was from Alabama. And when he was in Paris, he felt like he is not a black man. He is just a human. They treated him that. But when he came back from Paris to the Alabama, he felt how the Americans treating him to make sure that he is a black man. So then that's why this is a beautiful classical movie. It's about it. It's called Palace Blues. That's why he made a club like that. Then I say to him, then why you allow those kind of discriminating thoughts into your club? So anyway, so that experience at the time, you know what I did?
Yeah.
Very felt depressed. But I started write a song about it, and then I filed against it to the club owner because the next day he fired all of us. The reason why he fired us was another co-leader didn't obey him. But he standed for, because we've been performing like this for 6 years. So he just wanted to do the way we usually do. But anyway, so then I thought it was very unfair because we need to survive. We need to pay rent. So
Make a living,
yeah, make a living. Also another thing, as an Asian woman, who's gonna be protect me? Who's gonna speak for me? There is nobody. So I said, maybe most of the time, maybe to American people, Asians are very quiet. Maybe if something happened, maybe we would be just quiet and then, you know, don't do anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go opposite. I wanted to say, because if I don't say, who's gonna speak for me? So then anyway, and also the musician union, local 802, supported me, and then they got a lawyer for me. And then we talked with the owner. The reason I did that was not just about for our lost wage, because I wanted him to realize how it's hurted me, and then how this discrimination is so much around all of us.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that is hard to mention this is it, you know. So anyway, he regretted. He said
Did he apologize to you at all, or?
Kind of way, but I think it was enough that he told me I should say no to them when they requested to not put me on the stage.
Yeah.
I should say no. At least he said that, and he offered me to come back to his club. But I wasn't ready for it at that time because it really damaged my soul.
How long ago was this?
That was like about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And anyway, but we're cool, right? But unfortunately, he passed away due to the COVID complication. So we couldn't really like come back to the club after the incident. But I guess we are cool now, and hopefully he understand. And now I let go everything for it. But after that, I went to New Orleans because
that's beautiful. They have such a rich culture.
And New Orleans is the roots of jazz, isn't it? And then you know, when I was in Osaka singing, I told you, right?
Yeah.
And I said to audience, one Japanese man, I'm trying to go into New York and learn the jazz vocal for seriously. And you know what he said? No, you can't. It's impossible. You don't make it. And I said, why? And he said, oh, because you're Japanese. And then he said, you doing this black music, the jazz, what do you know? And he said, oh, okay, so you're gonna be like copycatting like a monkey? That's what he said. That's words I'll never forget. But that's what it is, because to be an Asian woman in this country and how I express my music in jazz, that is a very challenging and always question to myself since the guy told me that. And this experience really brought me that conversation back. And then I needed to find out what jazz is really. So then in the New Orleans, I went to Congo Square, and I visit the plantation, so how the slaves survived it. But then this Congo Square, that was only Sunday afternoon. They could express those drums from Africa and like dancing and all of that. That is the core and roots of the jazz, isn't it? Then I found, yes, if it's so, that is supposed to be for freedom. That is supposed to be for express yourself. So then I just learned from that experience to be there.
That's beautiful.
I just should express myself of me because I'm not American. I'm not African, but I am who I am. But I should be free and express. So that's what I learned this. So then this was a difficult experience, but it made me more, gave me more strength. And so yes.
You have a beautiful spirit.
Yeah. Anyway, then I wrote a song called Jazz Is, and I'm getting ready to recording for this song. So hopefully people can listen this one day.
What are you hoping to do with your music? What do you want listeners to take away from it?
With particularly this song? Or
that song specifically, but also the rest of your music.
Oh, okay. Okay. I sing jazz standard too, right? But jazz standard is a song that is somebody else's story. So I didn't come here to be a jazz vocalist. I came here to learn this complicated, unique music, jazz, but then use that knowledge and to put into my own composition, my own message. So my music is mostly has some message about love, peace, nature, or hope, and something like that, or healing or something. Yeah, so hopefully if people can find one of those that I just mentioned through my music.
Healing, that reminds me, you mentioned when we spoke last time that you met Randy Weston and you guys were helping in the disaster relief in Japan. Can you tell me more about that, and how did you meet him, and what his role was like in your life?
Thank you very much for asking for that. Randy Weston is one of the very important key musician into my life. First time I heard his music grabbed my soul. That song was Little Niles. I thought of what a beautiful melody that is like bringing me back to not this 20 something age. It's bringing back to the ancient time or something like speak to my soul. So then, but unfortunately, I saw Randy is not existent in this world, right? So anyway, but when one day I was listening at the radio, and they said, "Oh, Randy Weston gonna be playing so place in Brooklyn."
Yeah.
And I said, "What? This composer was still alive?" So I said, "I'm gonna go to Brooklyn to meet this person."
Yeah.
I have to listen his music right in front of my eyes. So I came, it was like a 966 in Brooklyn. So anyway, music was beautiful. But unfortunately, I have to go to another pianist. My friends having birthday, so I go downstairs, and I was gonna go there. Then Randy came down, and then wow! So I should be introduced to him. But anyway, so then I introduced to him myself, and then also it was another key person, Cecil Payne. He is also from Brooklyn, I think. But anyway, Cecil was, because of I married with Jimmy Lovelace, the drummer. Anyway, at the time, Jimmy was lived with another drummer, John Farnsworth, in the East Village. And they got another room available that Joe's brother, another musician, was touring with Ray Charles. So then that room they got for me to stay.
Yeah.
So then at the time, John Farnsworth was performing with Cecil Payne all the time. So Cecil was hung in the living room all the time. So then I heard a lot of histories from Cecil.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I knew that Cecil was in Randy's recording. And so I mentioned about Cecil Payne, and then Randy would say, "Wait a minute, you know Cecil?" And I say, "Yes." And then that's what it is. And after that, we even visit to Cecil and made a little like a documental program through with this Brooklyn Medgar Evers College. We went there together.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the way I got very close to Randy.
Mm-hmm.
And then then he was always beautiful spirits person.
Yeah.
And also he performed in Japan a lot. And after the tsunami thing happening, and he called me up and said, "Okaru, we don't need to do anything." He asked me, right? But at the time it was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Just so sad and pain.
Right.
I said, well, what kind of things? I'm just paying right now in a house. And he said, "I'm sorry for what happened to your country, but is there anything I can do for you guys if I making plan something together?"
Right. He would come
Then
in.
he will come and do anything for it.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time I didn't have any idea of it, but later I thought about it, and then I said, okay, maybe I cannot just be crying here. Maybe we can do something to raise fundraising or heal the people through the music. So then I go back to Randy. Because you saying that the other day, is that real? Like if I put together, would you perform?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Of course I would do." And then that's the beginning of that. And then I found a foundation called Love Earth Arts Foundation.
Love Earth Arts Foundation.
Leaf, yes. So anyway, through the Leaf, I got the St. Peter Church.
Mm-hmm.
And it was many beautiful musicians love Japan, so they donated their time and talent, and it was a beautiful fundraising event.
Yeah.
And I just could donate that. That's not only about the money; it's a love that I really felt, and I supported to Japan. And
bringing community together.
yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a love that I could donate to the Red Cross in Japan. And so that kind of thing, that was who he was. Yeah, so I really miss him. That when I got this difficult experience, I always ask to Randy, what Randy going to say? What Randy gonna be advise me? So that's what I'm having conversation with him that still now.
Who would you say are other influences for you in your music and other mentors?
Of course, when I came here, first my teacher was a Dr. Barry Harris. So I started going to his workshop every week. That's the way I learned so many beautiful standard numbers and beautiful harmony. I also was joining his choirs too. So I had a great opportunity to learn so many things from Barry Harris. And then I found my first husband, Jimmy Lovelace, because Jimmy was working at Barry Harris workshop as a house drummer. So anyway, of course, Lovelace told me a lot of things about music, and also he's a very spiritual person. So I've learned so many spiritual things is important into our life or into being an artist. So I learned from Lovelace, of course, and also I start taking private lessons from Norman Simmons. That Norman had a great experiences with Joe Williams and Carmen McRae and Betty Carter, all of the people.
Wow.
What Norman taught me was not just only music. He taught me to being who I am. That's why he said, don't ever copycatting nobody. Become me, and people gonna follow you.
Yeah.
So
he helped you develop yourself.
And yes. So maybe more musicianship part that to being a singer, who I am. So that's he was more focusing to teaching me, and also my favorite pianist is Chris Anderson. Chris Anderson is such a beautiful pianist that I don't think anybody can play piano like he does, and sweet person.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that I
Have you had a chance to meet with him at all?
Of course, I've been visiting his house all the time with Lovelace, because Chris's best friend later becoming my roommate. So yeah, and yes, Chris told me a lot of things. One thing I learned from Chris Anderson is his body, and he was blind, so he had to go through so much pain, physical pain, right? And I felt sorry for him, but he told me, Okaru, but no matter what, pain is with me every day, right? So I have to enjoy this pain. That's what he said, like,
Finding a way to live with it.
Yeah, I didn't understand the meaning, but now I understand that we live in so many situations, good and bad, physically, mentally, whatever.
Yeah.
It happens, but it's because we are alive. So I learned, yes, even in a painful time, because if you die, you don't feel the pain.
Yeah.
So that's what the meaning, right? So anyway, yeah. So I think my choice that I came from Japan to learn the jazz in New York City was right, because if I was still in Japan, I would never meet all these
amazing people.
These amazing people, and directly, can talk with them, listen their music, So all of those people that I mentioned, I think their music healing the world.
Before we wrap up, do you want to talk about any songs on your CD and how you came to write them? Okay, thank you very much. First of all, since you mentioned about for the tsunami relief concert did with Randy, I wrote a song called Sakura, Home of My Heart. It's a sakura is cherry blossom, because cherry blossom is reminds me of Japan, and I visited those victim area, but those people, even I visit the shelter, and they offer me their rice balls, teas, and they try to be my supporter, right? So I said, it's opposite. I came here to help you,
to support you,
right?
And you become my supporter. So anyway, I got those beautiful spirits, people, and anyway, I wrote those songs for them and the people who died in a tsunami and earthquake. So it's in Japanese, and I used Japanese flute and called shamisen and some Okinawa 3 strings. So I just wanted to blend it as some Western feel of music with Japanese instruments, with the language. And so that's the song. And also maybe from this my latest album for now, Beautiful Journey Love. This is the band, Beautiful Journey. I was performing in Harlem for 6 years. And maybe that song, maybe if you could play, will be nice. Will be the Are You Ready? Because Are You Ready this is a song about if we are all ready for the peace. Because peace, if you talk about politics, it's so big, but really peace is come from inside of you, right? Inside of me. So, but it's a daily life. We got little argue with spouse or family members or neighbors or whatever. So that's the beginning to find the really peace. So anyway, so Are You Ready? That's the song about it. And also maybe another song is a meditation song. Meditation song is it's in a reggae beat. I like some African or a reggae kind of thing. I went to Africa, Ghana for 2 months, and visited Jamaica too. So anyway, so this is in reggae, and this is about also peace. Because I'm from Japan, I perform on August 6th is a Hiroshima memorial as world know. Have you ever seen those lantern events?
Yes.
I sang for that event when they put those flame into the lantern. So anyway, message from Japan for the peace is, I think it's important things that I need to do. So peace is one of my key in my music. So anyway, meditation song.
Do you meditate like every day or?
Well, I guess I do.
Yeah.
My meditation is probably when I do vocal exercise. I do vocal exercise, and anyway, but this thing I found when I do vocal exercising, it's meditating me and makes me strong every day. Actually, I met this another beautiful man. I used to produce and hosted this one called Singers Connection Open Mic and Jam.
Where was that at?
It's in a theater called University of the Street in the East Village. Anyway, that owner, Mohammed, was a very beautiful man too. Anyway, over there when I was doing that every week, so that the singer can come and walk out their, ability to rehearse or whatever. So then this one guy keep coming, sit in the corner, but he sings so beautifully, right? And then I didn't know who he was, but his name is Vandy Curtis Hall. And later I found out he's a great director in a movie, and and also the actor. But he was just acting like a solo, but his singing was so stunning, right? So later we become very good friends, and one day when I was going through very difficult divorce in my life, I was so down, right? And then Vandy gave me this vocal exercise CD. And he said, Okaru, instead to feel pain and feel sorry, do this. And be so strong and beautiful. And the next time when your husband or ex-husband or whatever seeing you, oh my God,
he's gonna be shocked,
Yes. make that. So then he just gave me a CD. So that's the vocal exercise I keep doing it every day.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yes. So all those people supported me. That's what I found me who I am today. Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to talk with me in this interview. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me and share this story with you and all of the people who ever listen. Thank you.
My name is Okaru Hoshino Lovelace. I am a jazz singer-songwriter. When I am in the United States or traveling anywhere in the world, I listen to AfrobeatRadio.com. ジャズシンガーソングライターのオカール星野ラブレースです。アメリカで活動しているときはアフロビートラジオを聞いています。AfrobeatRadio.com で皆さんも日本や世界のどこからでもアフロビートラジオを聞いていただけます。アドレスはAfrobeatRadio.com です。